Yo, what's good, YouTube? Ramen here. This is a very, very different video to what you usually see me do. I'm usually, doing like gaming content, stuff like that. But I felt like a lot of people were weighing in on this situation, as it's recent, like literally happened last night, um, between the Plaqueboymax and OJ situation at the streamer university. Now, I'm not like a streamer guy at all. Like, I don't really follow like streamer drama or anything to even do with Kai Cenat. But I've seen some of the clips, and I saw the speech and like the eventual breakdown, and I just feel like it opens up kind of like the opportunity to talk about some like systemic issues with like toxic masculinity within the black community. I also felt like there's an opportunity for me to weigh in because seeing a lot of what like Max had to deal with in this video kind of reminded me a lot of like me growing up and having a lot of my formative years being a person of color in a predominantly like white school, and how going through the like phases of like self-expression and discovering yourself was shaped and judged by the peers around me, as well as just like other comments and scenarios I've seen from other like black men picking at other black men for self-expression, and how like there's still a lot of issues deep down relating to things like religious trauma from having majority African parents, talking about like being mixed and how difficult that is growing up to know where you fit, as well as just like being alternative, or not being stereotypical, and how that kind of like changes the ways that people interact with you significantly more being a person of color over being someone who's like white, for example. But what we're going to do is we're going to watch the highlight of the full like interaction, as well as getting emotional, and I'll just kind of weigh in on points as and when I see them fit throughout like the reaction. But I think there's like a huge opening here to really like address this, because this is blown up overnight, and I think it's really shining a light on all the problems that I'm going to go over in this video. But yeah, without further ado, let's cue up the video. And all right, so I got the highlight from let me just move my thing here so you can see it. Soof Clips on YouTube. They've got like a 6-minute rough rundown of the main rant. So yeah, if you want to see it without my interjections, because I probably will be pausing quite a bit, you can go see it there. I'll also link the source in the description. Yeah, let's get started.
We'll take plastic dick type of gay life.
Yeah, diva. Why you wanna be a diva? Oh, some flash. Why you wanna be a diva? Some flash. Yeah, demon. You need holy oil, right? You need to sit down in the holy oil. You need to go get a church bath and cleanse your body, right? I think you are confused. I think you need some guidance. I think your parents feel a little way about that. I think you're clip farming and you're getting your clips.
Okay, so yeah, the first thing to weigh on here is when he started the rant off. Just for some extra context, because I just realized it's not in the start of this video. Max like approached him very friendly. Obviously, with it being streamer university, he believed that this is a place where he can like interact with his peers. So he like spoke up, walked up to this guy, and was very openly just like, dude, nice to see you, nice outfit, blah blah blah, and he instantly weighed in with the negative rant. So a few things he said already were referring to stuff like how he needs to go to a church and be cleansed in holy oil, and that his parents must be disappointed in him for the way that he's dressing and expressing himself. For context of those of you who don't know, a lot of this hate started because Plaqueboymax got a tattoo on his rib cage that said diva. A lot of people were trying to tie that background to him acting zesty or gay in the past, with his music and stuff, as well as him like wearing wigs, getting new piercings, kind of just like experimenting with himself, which obviously isn't a harmful thing to do at any age. You should be allowed to change your style and try new things regardless of like your age, religion, race, creed. It's stupid to tie aesthetics down to like a group of people, or like a gender of people. That's kind of like unnecessary to do. He himself said that he referred to himself as a diva, because he felt like he was a prince. He thought very highly of himself, not necessarily in the way that he tries to portray it now, referring to diva meaning like someone who's very gay and flamboyant necessarily, right? And then, yeah, again, I kind of missed the point that I was trying to get to here. Mentioning the churches and his parents ties back around to that religious kind of like trauma that I think is built up in a lot of black people. Um, a lot of like black people in my age group can kind of attest to saying that they had grandparents, or people from like the Windrush generation, for example, that obviously due to colonialism, a lot of Africa is Christian or Catholic, and a lot of them believe that these views around like self-expression or being gay is like an affront to God. And it's like a negative, and that your parents would be disappointed in you and God would be disappointed in you, even if that's not necessarily your belief system as an adult. Continue.
You pushing the persona. You smart. You loyal. I know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You've been at this. But you are not a diva. Divas bend over. I don't think you bend over. You're not the little boys in clover. You're not Tota. You're not a diva. You are a grown man. Plaqueboymax, not Plaqueboybati.
So, for those of you who aren't, I guess, British, because Bassie's a really common British term, it's referring to basically people who are like bottoms in gay situations, or people who are seen to be like the effeminate one in a gay relationship, the one that receives, so to speak. And again, this is all kind of built out of Max. I keep calling him Mac. I'm sorry. Plaqueboymax, like expressing himself, wearing different kinds of clothing, and with the tattoos and the piercings and stuff. Now, it's kind of obvious I have tattoos and piercings. Not that that should be ever seen as anything uncommon, for a man to have, or a black man to have. But I wanted to bring up this point with like what he's getting at, because a lot of what Plaqueboy is hearing in this interaction are like situations I've dealt with growing up. Around about like, the turn of like the preteen era of my life, I very much kind of started to turn towards being a little bit more like alternative. I enjoyed not black music, which is in itself a very gatekeepy term to assume that music and its genres should belong to like, again, like a race of people or gender of people. That's simply not true. But I was an emo kid growing up. I was an emo kid and a geek. Neither of those things have really changed. I guess emo's just turned more into like metal and having just a more alternative music taste to like the standard that's expected of me, which is crazy that there should even be an expectation of the things that you should enjoy just based on the way that you looked. But yeah, I used to like the flannel shirts, skinny jeans, band like graphic tees. I used to love listening to like your emo bands, like your Fall Out Boy, your Panic at the Disco, your Sleeping with Sirens, and I was just generally not really a fan of hip hop music. And growing up around a lot of white kids and being literally the token black of like my year group, of my school, of my friend group, whatever, they, I guess, had a different expectation in their heads of what I should be simply because I'm a black man. And then when I was expressing myself outside of that mold, and bear in mind, these people are not friends, and I had to learn that the hard way later in life, when I learned to stand up and defend myself, and all of a sudden they didn't like that. But yeah, they'd be like, "Dude, have you heard this new rap album? Have you heard this new Kendrick?" And I'd be like, "I don't like rap." And it would be statements like, "You're the whitest black guy I've ever been around," despite them not really being around black people and just, I don't know, assuming we're fucking aliens who are only in this one box. I have to speak with a deep voice. I have to have my hand shoved down my pants. You know, I gotta say nigga every 5 seconds to make my point. And because I wasn't that, all of a sudden my black card was taken away from me by non-black people. It was like, you know, you're the whitest black person I've ever seen. How can you not like hip hop? How can you not own a Switch? I'm kidding about that part, but you get the point. Because I didn't fit into this pigeonholed expectation that I assume from them listening to hip hop, they assume that this is what black people should be when they're listening to, you know, violent songs about gang banging and like, you know, fuck the police and, you know, sell this drug, fuck this hoe, etc. A lot of the misogynistic and like criminal based lyrics in hip hop that I felt like I didn't align with, or I simply just didn't want to hear about or listen to. It wasn't a sound I enjoyed. And because I presented myself in a community that is predominantly white, even though the majority of emos who are black, or like alternative people who are black, are so fucking cool. And there are also so many people in that scene, who are people of color. And I always get really, really excited when I find like a band within these subgenres and these subcultures that have like black vocalists or black frontmen, especially ones that are expressing themselves outside of that mold. People like Kadeem France from Loathe, literally the entirety of the band Magnolia Park. There's another one. Get up my phone. I've got the name. It's something Sleep. It's not Sleep Tone. Yeah, Sleep Theory is another perfect example. Their song Static is fire, by the way. But yeah, it was really important to me, even now as an adult and growing up, to see black men in the spaces that I occupied, whether famous or just other people enjoying the music, because it felt like everyone had an expectation on how I should look or how I should act. And if I wasn't that, I was, you know, not straight, which unfortunately I ended up not being. But you know, I was a batty boy. I was losing my black card. My camera's going in and out of focus. One second. And then even like my own family members who were black, and this is a little bit more recent, but even ones I like looked up to, they would just say things that are obviously rooted again in this like black expectation, that like, in my opinion, changed my view on them. A big one is my uncle. I love him to pieces, but he tried to make a point, and it was very similar to this one. I like having my hair long. When it's not in braids like this, I have quite a big afro. There again will be example photos on the side and stuff. And when I was like growing it out, you know, so many people were like, you need to cut it. You shouldn't be wearing that. You know, but black men should have fades and short hair and trimmed beards, and they should be yoked and everything else. And it was already difficult enough being someone who was mixed with both black and white, because to me, I already knew that I wasn't black enough because I wasn't fully black, so to speak. But I have these white people telling me that I'm not black enough, and then I've got these black people telling me that I'm not black enough. So what is it that I'm supposed to be but me? You know? And even when I like describe myself, or I think of how I should express myself, just from my appearance alone, you know, I've got curly beard hair, I've got curly braids, I'm very tall, my skin tone, it would make no sense whatsoever for me to call myself white, just because I am 50% white. There's not really anything when you look at me where it's like, that's a white guy. I have no distinguishing features to being a white person. The only thing that I could be seen as is black. But people who aren't even black will tell me that I'm not black enough because of the way that I express myself. And I feel like Plaqueboymax is going through the same thing here, where because a lot of, again, black men, even just in the streamer space, you know, they wear their tank tops, they wear their do-rags, they blast the latest Don Toliver and dance on stream. The guy who's putting in piercings and tattoos and wearing like baggy jeans and white denim is being called like gay and a batty boy just for simply how he expresses himself. And it's just rooted in this constant culture that black people are constantly fighting within the communities that they want to be a part of. If you look at the cosplay community, there aren't a lot of black representation or characters in Japanese media. Like I'm a huge anime and JRPG guy. That was another point of contention. How dare I be a fucking nerd and black, by the way. But there isn't a lot of representation of people who look like me in that media. So then when black people fall in love with a character who doesn't look like them and they decide to cosplay them anyways, the comment sections are always like, last time I checked, Cloud Strife isn't a fucking watermelon eating spear chucking monkey. And it's like people just instantly take it as this opening to be racist towards black people expressing themselves in any way that isn't this racist built box of Section 8 housing and gangbanging. That's my rant over. back to the video. We're only what, a minute in?
Black boy, are you gonna tell your son that you are a diva? Daddy, what's diva? Hey, get the f out of here.
You know, in this moment, I really respect the resilience of Max as a person, because now he's talking about, you know, my future kids. Your future kids are going to be disappointed in you because of the way that you express yourself. Your parents are disappointed in you because of the way that you express yourself. God is disappointed in you because of the way that you express yourself. The moment he brings up the kids that don't even exist, I hate to say it, but I'm rotating on my foot swivel and there's a left hook connecting with that guy's face. You know, get your fucking hand off me, and don't talk about me that way. When I become a father, which, you know, I can only hope for, having a beautiful wife and being able to contribute to a beautiful gene pool, and make gorgeous kids. I want my children to be able to feel like they can express themselves. I want them to feel like they can talk to me. I don't want them to look at themselves and be like, I have this skin color, I must be something I'm not, or else I risk judgment. Because that's not how human beings work. I don't just assume that all white people wear shirts, vote for the right, and love brown sugar, because that would be racist for me to think. That would be racist for me to assume. So I'm not going to pick and choose off of stereotypes what a person should be.
That is an abomination, Max. I am not proud of you. I am proud of everything else you did.
Calling him an abomination is crazy. He is a human being, bro. And, like, I don't want to be that guy because we're not picking at people here. But if you look at OJ's Instagram, he wears very flamboyant clothing. Lots of pink baggy pants. Even now, he's got, you know, these stupid-ass alien glasses on. They're just not my taste. I'm saying they look stupid, but I'm not making any assumptions about them. I'm just saying they're stupid fucking sunglasses. He's got his hair in these twists. He's holding a purse. He's got brooches on. He's dressed like that, but he's walking up to another nigga and telling him that he's gay, or that he looks gay. He himself is expressing himself, and as someone who's into, like, fashion and clothes, and, you know, obviously not on camera because I'm in my house, so I don't make the effort. But what I'm saying is, as someone who, like, likes to dress up nicely, you aren't good at fashion if you haven't at least had a handful of people assume that you're gay because you dress too good. It's, yeah.
Nominations. Changing the game. Changing your skin to Baki Diva. Diva start with D. Diddy. What else? You know, it's like this, Max. And you know, I could speak like this because after the clips go up and they don't like me, I don't use social media no more, so I can be a crackhead for life. When you keep pushing that barrier, Max, when you keep pushing...
Just there, the point he made. He's made it so obvious that this entire interaction is for clips. Plaqueboymax himself said post-stream that he actually knew OJ prior to Streamer University, which is why he obviously approached him so cordially. And even if he assumed that this person was like a friend or a peer, and this person really had something to say, they wouldn't make the effort to embarrass him in front of the cameras. But again, it's our modern culture. Everything needs to be a clip farm. So when he can sit there and bully him and make him upset, he himself said, I don't use social media anymore. So when the people hate on me for being homophobic, I mean, I basically get a free pass. I get to live free because I'm not going to see it. So it has no weight on my conscience. The way that I make you feel has no weight on my conscience. And that is the entire, like, ecosystem of the last 3 generations. If I'm on a keyboard and I'm online, I can say whatever I want. And because I can turn my phone off and I don't know what you look like and I don't know your experiences, then it's got no hit on my conscience to say horrible shit about you. And I feel like, you know, as someone who games quite a lot, I've even got some videos cooking about it. I'm a huge Counter-Strike fan, and the racism that I've faced in the Counter-Strike community, especially on the European servers where it connects to like Russians and stuff like that, no surprises there, is horrible.
Give me an
N, give me an I, give me a G, give me a G, give me an E, give me an R.
Hey yo, man.
He's a retard, nigga.
Which is insane for you to even think that if you're saying shit like that, you have a chance with a woman as intelligent and as beautiful. And then just like, you know, being like, I'm gonna lynch you, hang you, I'm gonna in front of you. That's censored for YouTube, but you can read my lips. You know, it's awful, and pretty much under any comment section you see of any interracial couple, it's always like, don't mix. How dare you mix with the other race? Your ancestors wouldn't have wanted this. That baby's gonna be fucked up, you know? That baby's not gonna have a support system. They're not gonna have a dad in their lives. Again, another stereotype about black fathers not being in the home. It's a whole other thing. But again, it also comes back around to the other side, not just white people being racist towards, you know, me for being black, but then black people the other way being like, why aren't you dating within your own race? Why aren't you keeping the bloodline pure? Dude, I'm 2 fucking races. Am I supposed to have a throuple? 1 white girl, 1 black girl, and I'm just in the middle? Like, that's just not sustainable. What are we talking about?
That barrier, and time passes. What happens? What next? What's the next engagement? What's the next clip? Don't lose yourself, don't sell your soul, Max. They want your soul, because you changed the game. Don't sell your soul. You know I have a soul. You know I don't hold my tongue. You know you the first person that ever subbed me up as a big streamer in my chat. You ain't mention it. You don't know how much I appreciate you. But you bigger than that. Don't forget like you for your personality. Is you crazy? You don't need to put on no persona. You broke through with music. Is you crazy? So suck my don't like you. It's like the character, but your main like you.
Right, whoever re-uploaded this took time to censor a lot of what he's saying, but he's basically being like, you know, as a main nigga, whatever, as a main nigga, as someone who you know, is being a representation of black men making changes in like the world of streaming and the world of music, that you shouldn't be seen to take dick is essentially what he just said. Now, Plaqueboy has never actually said at any point that he's gay. He's had girlfriends and like open online relationships with women. He just has feminine qualities. He enjoys piercings. He enjoys wearing wigs. He enjoys doing skincare and looking after himself. And these are all of the things that somehow make a person gay. Not that there's even anything wrong with being gay. And it shocks me how many straight men that are probably in the closet so concerned about 2 men mashing their meat together that it like keeps them up. They do say the majority of homophobes or people who are homophobic are gay themselves, and it is this big glass closet. And again, not wanting to make assumptions about people, but if you look at this guy, he's not exactly like practicing what he preaches. He is expressing himself with his clothing, with the brooches, with the hair. He's given himself a very distinctive look that strays very far from what people are assuming a black man should look like. Yet he'll be on this high horse telling another black man how he should present himself, how he should represent himself, and how he should look. It's the video equivalent of an oxymoron. And that's another thing, actually, just before we continue. I have quite a large vocabulary. I'm not gonna like sit here and act like I'm Einstein, but I'm quite an intelligent person. And I don't think I would have gotten as far in life being stupid. And I don't think my wife would love me if I was stupid. And because I speak very prim, very proper, big words, whatever, again, I've had, again, mainly white people be like, you don't sound black. The amount of Discord calls I've joined, you know, just trying to join communities. And this is so sad. The moment I bring up being black, they're like, no fucking way, bro. You don't sound black. And it's like, I'm turning on my camera to prove it. Why should you ever have to prove to someone who you are in the sense of like your race? You know, what is sounding black then if I don't sound black? What is being black if I'm not black enough? The only thing that should make me black is the color of my skin. It shouldn't play to my interests. It shouldn't play into the way I dress. It shouldn't play into the music I listen to. I'm black because my melanin fucking makes me.
Rage bait you on your own stream? Is you crazy? You him? You're not no diva. What the f? Oh, not drive that. That's not true. You playing the character too much. God, you ain't no diva. I'm gonna pop it because I'm not gonna get no comments today. What you talking about? I'm gonna get my because I went to SU. But I'm not no diva. You fly though, you got fire, I'll give you that. You have to dime me on that. You got fire, I'll give you that. You fly. You're not no diva.
This rant was almost 3 fucking minutes long, okay? The bar is like halfway into the video. So he just spent 3 minutes homophobically ranting at this guy who isn't even come out as gay. Not that he even owes anyone to come out, whether he is or isn't. He should just be able to be himself. But he has people. Let's focus again, bro. He's got people telling him who he should and shouldn't be just based off his skin color. I'm telling you now, even though he would get flack being a white man presenting and dressing this way, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, specifically because of the systemic issues I've spoken about that the black community then like to push onto other members of the black community about the way that they should appear, the way that they should sound, the music that they should enjoy. Every black man obviously must enjoy Kendrick and smoking weed. God forbid a black guy enjoys a Metallica album every once in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's happened even in communities that I care about. When Lane Staley died, you know, the lead singer of Alice in Chains, and they replaced him with William Duvall. The amount of people who came out of the woodwork from the white side being like, why the fuck is a black person all of a sudden in Alice in Chains? He'll never replace Lane Staley. He sounds shit. Replace him with a white singer. People didn't even give a chance to hear his voice. It was like, how dare this black guy be in the presence of something I love? Because I hate black people that much. I can't even bear to imagine him fronting my favorite band. Then you had black people being like, why aren't you making rap music? Why are you wearing flares and leather jackets and being all skinny in tank tops? Are you some kind of batty? Just because he expresses himself within his art. William Duvall is a fantastic singer, and he shouldn't be anything else other than that. But again, because he's a black man not doing black man shit inside of this square box that's created out of stereotypes, he's suddenly invalidated in his art, in his own talent.
Chai, I'm gonna end my stream. I don't really want to chill. I want to just chill. I've been streaming this whole time, and I've been having a lot of fun. You know, people just really just accepted me for who I am, honestly, the whole time. So it's just felt like, damn, I felt like I enjoyed this shit again. But you know, the reason I turned the camera back on is because I want to be real with y'all. Like, that's why I started doing shit in the first place, because streaming ability, I feel like.
I can't watch this clip of him crying, dude. It's so hard to watch back because I've been in the exact same positions as him, where like it's really affected me when I would basically come home from school and I would be like in tears because it's like absolutely no one seems to want to accept me for who I am. What am I? You know, it would be like, who am I? It was such an identity crisis. Not only being mixed raced, but then being alternative. It's like I was aware that I wasn't black enough, but I was aware that I was black from my appearance. But I wasn't black enough because my dad is white. My dad is white British. My mom is Ghanaian native, first generation immigrant, right? So I knew that I wasn't black enough because my father was white, even though there shouldn't be such a thing as black enough, but whatever. I knew that I wasn't black across the board, although my parents basically made it that Then I was told that I wasn't black enough because of the music I enjoy. Then I was told I wasn't black enough for enjoying guitar. Guitar is a white people's instrument, dude. Fucking Jimi Hendrix. What do we mean guitar is a white person's instrument? Actual comment I've received in my life, by the way. Right? I wasn't black enough for the way that I dressed. I wasn't black enough for speaking too proper, you know? And he's being told, like, oh, you must be gay because you're expressing yourself. You know, you're not a good enough black man because you're not making yourself appear black, despite the fact that, again, his melanin levels makes him just as black as the guy who was fucking chewing him out. And it's like, you're just telling someone that they're not enough of the stereotype that you have in your head, because either you've got things like the CIA making hoods, and then that being turned into a type of like black exploitation or cinema that then black people consume and believe that they should be that. And it's this whole vicious circle of trying to pigeonhole black people into one stereotype. They must be that. They must deal drugs. They must sag their pants. They must not have a father. And if you don't do these things that we pigeonhole in, then you may as well not even be black, bro. You may as well hand your N-word pass from birth over to me. How dare you have a desk job as a black person? How dare you try and move up through the corporate ladder as a black person? Black men aren't managers. Black men aren't CEOs. Black men aren't teachers. God forbid I'm not committing crimes. Run this back.
All right, stream it. Give me the ability to do that. You know? That's why I love it in the first place. I feel like I've always been able to be me. And even if they don't fuck with me, or like viewers and fans, if they, like if they, how do I explain it, hate on me or don't fuck with me, that's cool. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know them. But on my own platform, it's like, damn, bro, if you fuck with me and really felt that way, why would you say on the stream in front of hundreds of niggas? You don't care about it for real. You just don't know it go viral.
Again, the way that I'm relating to it so hard, it's so painful to watch. And I feel like a lot of the male black creators I was watching earlier today, before I put the idea of this video and pen to paper, a lot of them I think have experiences very similar to what we're talking about. One of them, Cloud9, who's a huge inspiration. He's an awesome YouTuber. He made a point about attending like some kind of like streamer award show, or like some kind of function, right? And he was going over and he was talking to these people, and they were majority black and Mexican, and they were like giggling while he was speaking. He was like, I'm not saying anything funny. And they're like, it sounds like you say bro a lot. It sounds like you came from a safe neighbor. You know, it's just like that lesser version of saying stuff like, you're not black. It's the exact same like idea, just said a different way, you know? Oh, you've got these dreads and you've got this dark skin. You know, you wear these do-rags, but you came from a safe neighborhood. So are you really allowed to? Like it's a rite of passage. Like, make sure you jack at least one car before you go see a loctician. All right? You gotta at least get searched improperly once before you can even think about getting box braids, bro. All right? You have to listen to at least 6 rap albums before you think about getting cornrows. Right? I don't make the rules. It's stupid. And when he's crying like this, dude, the amount of times that I've just received grief online by people I don't even know, and I cut stream off, right? Especially with these competitive games. I haven't uploaded the video yet, but it's edited and it's cooking. But I was playing Counter-Strike with my boy, and the amount of pasty white basement dwellers just throwing around the N-word. Whether they're calling me the hard R, whether they're calling each other the hard R in chat. And I've genuinely gone, I'm sick and tired of fucking seeing and hearing this word. I'm just getting off. I'm cutting the video here. I literally cannot be on anymore. It makes me feel sick to my fucking stomach. And it's just become normalized. It's become so normalized for white people to just spout racism. It's become so normal now to be a racist, and no one holds it accountable. Ever. To any viewers that watch me that are young black men, in a majority white friend. If your homeboy, and this is something I had to learn, if your homeboy calls you the N-word to your face and you're like, man, bro, you gotta stop doing that. I really don't like it when you do that. Please stop. And they don't. That guy does not respect you. He's not your boy. He's not your brother. Either get ready to cut contact, or at the very least, keep an arm's length. Because if they can't respect you enough to not call you a racial slur, how can you expect them to be there for you in any other situation? I dealt throughout my, young teenage years being the token black in majority white friend groups. And there's still videos up on my channel of it happening and me being called it. All right. I haven't hidden any of it. And me keeping it in those videos was a way for people to see it, to be made aware, because I felt like I couldn't confront them myself because I didn't want to lose these quote unquote friends. I would deal with these racial comments. I would deal with being told that I wasn't black enough. I would deal with being told that I was a fag for the way that I dressed and the music that I enjoyed. I dealt with being called a nigger by white people because I was like, if I don't allow them to walk over me, how am I gonna make friends? I have, right? I'm 23. I have no black friends as a black man, because if I go to black people who have this mentality and this stereotype, I'm not black enough. I'm not cool enough to hang around. I dress too good. I speak too proper. I don't like the new Metro Boomin, right? And then you go to these white people and it's like, you're not black enough because you like all these white things, but I'm just going to call you nigga. And you're just going to have to learn to put up with it if you want to be friends with me. Do better for yourself. Stand up for yourself, bro. Do not allow yourself to be walked over and pigeonholed, right? We're in the year 2026. I don't know how many orbits we've done around the sun, but express yourself and be proud of who you are, right? I wear eyeliner. I paint my nails. Don't have it done right now. And it doesn't fucking matter. Why is a black man painting his nails? Why is a man in general painting his nails? Paint your fucking nails if that's what you want to do, bro. Wear eyeliner if that's what you want to do. If you want to wear skirts, wear fucking skirts, right? If you want to dress up in clothes where the model that they show is never your skin color, never fucking looks like you, wear them because you think it looks cool, bro. Be you, right? Don't allow people to pigeonhole you, and don't ever pigeonhole yourself into being someone that you aren't to appease other people, right? You're an individual and you're special, and the right people will appreciate that and love you for that, and you can use you being you to filter out these dumbasses, right? And learn to draw that line in the sand. Learn to be yourself. I'm gonna finish up the video now because I feel like I've ranted and I gotta chop it down. So we'll just finish off with Plaqueboymax. But I feel like just this video and this situation is bringing a lot of attention to the toxic in the black community, and why that toxic masculinity exists and why it's almost systemic. Let's finish this off.
This is me. I'm Prince. This is me. Like, I don't give a f, bro. I might be a little weird, bro. I might tap some shit. Oh, bro. I don't give a f. What's wrong with being gay? There's nothing wrong with that, bro. Y'all whack. You're corny. And you just think how the next thing. You don't have your own mind, bro. That's whack. But I'm gonna be myself, regardless. None of y'all can just f with me. I don't care. You might think that because you're closed-minded, but it's one love, bro. It's one.
By the way, the chat is censored, but the majority of his chat, and again, the whole like irony posting thing, are not respecting the fact that he's upset and opening up here. They're either continuing the comments that were just parroted by the previous guy, calling him zesty for sagging in polo underwear, sending crying emojis, calling him a fucking crybaby, or, ironically sending prideful. Nobody gave a fuck about what he was trying to say. And this is the issue with, like, streaming and modern culture. Absolutely nobody cares about your mental health the moment you're on screen. You aren't anything to them. You're no longer a person. It will be like harass, bully, say whatever we want. I'll never see them. They'll never see me. So why the fuck should I hold back? And that builds up. That stacks. So unfair, dude.
One love. It's one love, bro. It don't matter. Gay, it don't matter. They straight. It don't matter, bro. Why don't we just love each other, bro?
Exactly. It's one love. It is. Everyone should be entitled to love who they want to love. Doesn't matter if you're gay. Doesn't matter if you're straight. You know, I'm not woke by any means, right? But it's just like a very simple. These are all simple truths. These are all simple facts. Shouldn't matter where you politically align, what your ideologies are. It should not bother you what other people do in the comfort of their own home. It should not bother you who other people take to bed. It's none of your fucking business, bro. And if you can't find anyone yourself to take to bed, you have shit to work on. Not a man who's sleeping with another man. Not a black man who's sleeping with a white woman. Not a white woman who's sleeping with a black man. If you can't pull it all, you got to evaluate and sort yourself out instead of sitting there judging people for the choices of who they choose to be with. Because they're getting further ahead than you. It's envy. It's all fucking envy, bro.
So, I don't care, bro. OJ, if you with me, you said that off camera. You could have pulled me aside. I'd love to talk to you off camera. Why you saying that on camera? It's cool. I love y'all, bro. Good off this, to be honest. I'm gonna just go chill, all right? I love y'all, but remember this always. Always be yourself. What they say. I don't care. I'm gonna wear my wigs. I don't give a fuck. I had diva tag. I'm gonna keep it forever. This is who I am. Thief or fly. I'm on my own shit. That's me. So always be yourself. Embrace what make you different, because that's what's gonna make you pop, all right? I love y'all, bro. I'm out of this. I don't care. This has been amazing, though. I'll probably go live tomorrow, but I'm not trying to party, bro. With who just really, you don't give a fuck about me, bro. It's cool, but I love y'all. And I love every single I've been on campus, because everyone been real and just showing love. Shout out Taylor, shout out, bro, whoever, Wardrobe, shout out Wardrobe, bro. Shout out Wardrobe, because Wardrobe's himself, bro, no matter what.
For those who don't know, Wardrobe is a fully out and gay streamer who was Plaqueboymax's roommate during this streamer university stuff that was going on. I don't have the clip because I didn't want to give this OJ person any more attention of him being stupid, essentially. But basically, this Wardrobe guy goes to bat for Plaqueboymax, and it is so honorable, and I'm so proud. When you see situations like that, that's when you know who your real friends are. You need a friend or a family member who will bat for you, even in your absence, bro. Those are real niggas. Those are the kind of people that you want to keep around. So much of my opinion on the way people treat me has changed so much recently as I've gotten older and stood up for myself, and I'm so not willing to take this shit anymore. A big example is the Gideon Alex Rosen situation. Gideon again was like, you know, for the sake of catching predators, for the sake of the mission to protect children, I will spend time with a racist white supremacist.
I've told Alex time and time again, bro, you know, bro, it's so unnecessary what you're doing, man. Really, just shut the builder shit. It shouldn't divide anybody. It is what it is, you know? I can't tell him what to do. I've told him behind the scenes to stop doing that. Saying it on camera, you know, that's my opinion on it, man.
Here's the thing, man. I don't know if Janidian realizes this. Again, he's a really nice guy, but I just need you to understand something. I just, you know, for what it's worth, Alex Rosen doesn't respect you as a person, and that's a fact. And I don't know how else to say this. There's one thing for him to be racist, but he's racist around you. If you're sitting there telling him in videos to tone it down, and you're telling him privately to tone it down, that means that Alex doesn't respect you.
Calls me the hard R. Because I'm a Christian, I believe he can change. It took him donating 100,000 to Chud the Builder, a streamer who wanted to go out in public and harass black.
You gonna box me or not?
Is this nigga trying to press me?
Him, so he had an excuse to shoot. That shows how little Alex Rosen respected Gideon. as a person, fundamentally to his core. And that's not the only time I've heard racists say those things about black people. You know, I left a server because I have a friend, Dominic, and I even cut ties with him because the friends he introduced me to were racist. They thought the hard R was the funniest word in the world. They made horrible racist comments about my wife. And when I stood up for my, even though that what they were saying was wrong, objectively, and they were in the wrong, he went to bat for them. And when I called him out on it, he's like, "They're my OGs, bro. I'll always go to bat." That shows me where you stand. That shows me that you're a pussy with no integrity. Anyways, yo, what Max was saying at the end there, I honestly couldn't say better myself. And I said previously, you know, respect yourself, express yourself, be proud of who you are. And if you're a black man, be proud not only to be black, but be proud to be you. Be proud to represent you in the way that you enjoy representing yourself. And don't let anybody stop you. I think that's all I gotta say. Peace.